Hey guys, it's good to see you. This is Miss Anderson. I'm doing my first distance learning video so that we can do some review work on multiplying and dividing decimals. I know that you guys already know how to do this. This is stuff we've done all year long. But I wanted to go over a couple of problems with you. I'm going to be doing two problems on if you have the packet. If you're on packets, I'll be doing the two problems at the top here. This is the multiplying decimals worksheet. It's actually down at the bottom. It says, what is that, page 30? I can't read. I don't have my glasses on. What page is that? 35. Page 35. So we'll be doing problem number 2 and problem number 5. Guess I should put my glasses on so I can see. Okay. And the first problem number 2 is 10 and 5/10. I'm going to just write problem 2 here. 10 and 5/10 times 6 and 6/10. Okay, and I hope y'all can see that okay. Those of you that have been doing this with me all year, it should be all of you, should know that in my answer, even without working the problem, we're going to know that we're going to have to move that decimal over 2 places. And the reason we know that is we have 2 digits to the right of any decimal in the problem. But we're going to work this problem pretending there's no decimals in it at the beginning, and then we'll worry about that decimal at the very end. Okay, so the first step would be 6 times 5 is 30. I put my 0 down, and I carry the 3 up here. Again, this is our ones row, because we're using the digit in the ones place downstairs here. So I've carried that 3, and I've used this number, so this is our 30. We're then going to multiply the 6 to the 0, and a lot of kids make a mistake here. Don't forget 6 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3, and then finally 6 times 1 is 6. So our ones row is 630. Our next step is we erase our carried numbers because we don't want that to confuse us. And we got to put our happy face guy in here. This is our placeholder 0. And we're going to start with the tens row now. And we're going to use this 6 this time. And so 6 times 5 is 30. Carry the 3. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. And 6 times 1 is 6. And we're going to add those rows together. One thing you can predict is when you have the same digit downstairs, 6 and 6, that this 630 is going to repeat down here. And the only thing different is going to be we're going to have this holding our place in that second row. So we're going to add these rows together. And now is when we're going to worry about where we put the decimal in the problem. So I look at this and I notice again we have 2 what we call hangman blanks. Parents, we call those hangman blanks because of the game Hangman. These are 2 place values to the right of any decimal in this problem. So we start at the edge and we move that decimal over 2 places, 1, 2 jumps. And we get 69 and 30 hundredths for that answer. Okay, again, this should hopefully be a review for everybody. This is stuff we already know how to do. All right, and the second problem, this is problem number 5. And you have 12 hundredths, and they have that placeholder 0 in front of the 12. 12 hundredths times 3 and 7/10. Now, one quick way you could do this problem is just to strike that placeholder 0. We don't need it there in the problem, but I'm going to go ahead and work it with it just so we can see how it would work. Our first step is 7 times 2. Oh, let me change colors here. Hang on. Oops, there goes my lid. Oh, I'll get it later. 7 times 2 is 14. I'm going to carry that 1. So I've done, again, we're starting with our ones row. This is the digit in the ones place, the 7. Then I multiply the 7 times this this 1. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. And then 7 times that 0 is 0. So our ones row is 84. We erase our carried numbers so they don't mess us up. We're going to put our happy face guy in, our placeholder 0. This is our tens row. And now we're going to use the 3, which is in the tens place. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. And 3 times that 0 is 0. We're going to add these rows together. And 3 plus 0 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And then, again, this 0 in front. Now, this is where we worry about the decimal, is at the very end. We look to see how many place values we have to the right of any decimal. We have 1, 2, 3. So this being the edge, we're going to move our decimal over 1, 2, 3 places. And our answer is 444 thousandths. Alrighty. So when we're doing multiplication with decimals, we don't worry about that decimal till the very end of the problem. That's when we worry about it. Don't make the mistake of trying to bring it down in the answer. That's when we add or subtract them. We only do, when we're multiplying decimals, we worry about that decimal at the end. Okay. Now I'm going to switch, if you're on the packet, to problem number 14. And I just want to kind of go over the word. It's a word problem. I just want to kind of go over it with you real quickly. It says Linda worked on Thursday for 3 hours and Friday for 4 hours. Wendy worked on Friday for 7 hours. They earned the same amount per hour. That's important. And they were paid $77.14 total. How much money did each one make? Now they're asking for their paycheck. Each lady's paycheck. We know a couple of things. We know they made the same rate of pay, and we know their total amount of pay. We also know they worked the same amount of hours, because the problem tells us Linda's hours and it tells us Wendy's hours. And we find out that they both work 7 hours. So if we take their total pay and divide it by 2, we should get the answer. So I'm going to work this as a division problem. So this is a little different. Now we're switching to division. And we've got $77.14. And I'm going to scoot up here a little bit high, because we're going to have to bring down this long division problem. And this is money. And that is divided by the 2 ladies in the problem. They got the same amount of pay each. So $77.14 divided by 2. Okay. Just to review, this is our dividend, this is our divisor, and our answer is the quotient for vocabulary. And our steps of division, we have our memory aid. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? So D is, the does is divide. Does McDonald's multiply? Does McDonald's sell subtract? Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? This is check. And burgers is bring down. So this is just a review of that memory aid. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? These are our steps of division, and we just keep repeating these steps throughout the problem. And unlike multiplication of decimals, we have to worry about the decimal at the very beginning this time. This is what we've remembered to do at the beginning. Before we even start any division, we're going to bring that decimal up in our quotient, and we're going to put it there so that when we do the problem, our place value is going to fall right where it needs to go. And we don't have to worry about it at the end. We can just do it right now. All right, first step, division. We're going to ask ourselves, does 2 divide into 7? It doesn't go in equally, but it will divide into it. How many times? 3. So that's our division step. Then I'm going to put a little multiplication symbol here just to remind us that we have to multiply back down. We have to do 3 times 2 is 6. Then we subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. We check. Is 1 less than 2? It is, so that means we can keep going. So we're going to bring down the next digit, which is a 7. And now we start with a new division problem, and we start all over with our little check steps. Will 2 divide into 17? Yes, it does. Not evenly, but it will go in 8 times. 8 times 2 is 16. So we've done the division. We've done the multiply back down. Then we subtract. 17 minus 16 is 1. We check. Is 1 less than 2? Yes, it is. We can keep going. Now we bring down the next digit, which now we have a new division problem. 2 into 11. 11 divided by 2. Start all over. Will 2 divide into 11? Yes. It moves in, it divides in 5 times. Notice that because I put my decimal in at the beginning, I know exactly where to put that 5. It's not going to get all crowded. We're not going to accidentally put the decimal in the wrong place. Just going to multiply back down. 2 times 5 is 10. So I've done my division. I've done my multiply back down. Now I subtract. 11 minus 10 is 1. You could put a 0 here if you want. I check. Is 1 less than 2? Yes. And then I can bring down my final digit, which is a 4. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that 0. We'll start down back again at the top. Now I divide again. Will 2 divide into 14? Well, this time it goes in evenly. It goes in 7 times. We multiply back down. 7 times 2 is 14. We subtract. 14 minus 14 is 0. We check. Is 0 less than 2? Yes. Is there anything else to bring down? No, we're done with the problem. So we can say this is a finished answer. And since it's money, and the problem asked what each woman's paycheck was, that they each made $38.57. Okay. Couple of just helpful reminders since we're doing distance learning, and I've got people on packets, I've got people online on Khan Academy, and I've had some questions about several things, especially online students. Some of the parents are texting me or are contacting me saying that on Khan Academy, if you're doing Khan Academy, that they can't see the progress. As the student completes the assignment, it doesn't show that they've completed it. So what you have to do, and I found this out by looking at it from a student's viewpoint on the computer, you have to actually go out of Khan Academy, out of the website, and go back in. And once you go back in and refresh it, it refreshes your assignments and you can see the ones you've completed. So don't panic over that. On my end, when I look at my computer, I can see your progress. You're not losing work. I can definitely see it. And if you're worried about it, or you want to know where you are, just go out of Khan and come back in, and then it will show you those updates. If you're working on Khan Academy, I know there's a lot of assignments on there. It's the same objective that this was. It's multiplication and division of decimals. You're going to need to probably do 3 to 4 assignments per day on Khan Academy if you only want to work Monday through Friday, okay? That way you leave your weekends free and you can play around and do some fun stuff. If you don't want to worry about working on the weekends, if you don't mind working on weekends, you can do fewer problems or fewer assignments per day on Khan Academy and just work on the weekends and get caught up that way. Please don't wait till the very end of these 2 weeks when you get closer to April 21st and then try to do all of that at one time. That's just a bad idea. You're going to be overwhelmed and you're going to be very sad and upset, and your parents are going to be upset. I would be too. I'm a parent too. I wouldn't want to wait till the very last minute and try to do all this at one time. It's just not good. Put aside, 30 to 45 minutes a day for your math. Miss Payne and I tried to fix the packets where the most you're going to have to do is 2 assignments a day, and we even cut that down a little bit to evens or odds on some of these. It does help on some of the worksheets to do your work on scratch paper. You have more space, you have more control of the problem that way. Okay, well, I will be hopefully doing a video every week until we go back to school. My goal is to do these videos on Mondays and have them posted around 2 o'clock. So if you have any questions, this is how you get a hold of me. Most of you guys as parents are on my Remind. And all you have to do is get on Remind, and you can message me directly from that app, okay? If you are not on my Remind, if you will send me an email to this email address, this is my school email, kelly.anderson@whitneyisd.org. I almost ran out of space there. That is my school email. I can answer questions here. I can answer questions through Remind. So if you need me to, I can address that either way. Also, I have some of my parents are friends with me on Facebook. If you get on Facebook Messenger and send me a friend request, I can do FaceTime, which is a real-time interaction with your student, and I can work a problem on paper and talk to the student directly that way. So that's been successful with another student I've worked with. So anyway, I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you are doing okay. Oh, here's Phoebe. Phoebe, those of you that have always asked me about Phoebe, she's my Siamese kitten. Phoebe. Phoebe doesn't want to look at the camera. But anyway, she's usually right in the middle of the mix here trying to help me out. Anyway, love you guys. I miss you guys. And stay safe. And I will post another video soon. Thank you.